Ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about becoming delusional. What does that mean? I mean, becoming delusional in a sense towards yourself. Not in a sense towards worldly things like relationships or, just things that are outside of you that you cannot control. People are constantly thinking that you need to be delusional. I don't even need these. I don't know why I put these on. But you need to be delusional towards yourself to uplift yourself, Push yourself towards that goal, Put your fullest into something, Don't be afraid to give your all into everything. Be delusional in that way. That is my intentions. Everything I do, I give my all. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's something I love like soccer, whether I'm cleaning, I do it with everything I want because I know that if I don't, then I'm not getting everything I want out of it. You know what I mean? Because it's the same thing. If you guys have watched Full Metal Alchemist, you guys will know about the alchemy law. I forgot how it goes, but it's like you have to put the equal mass to get the equal something. Basically saying you have to give equal input to receive equal output. And that's so groundbreaking. Because if you're not giving your fullest, then what are you really getting? If you're giving half of your effort, you're gonna get half of your, back. You're gonna get half back, whatever it is, your half expectations. Be delusional in the sense, be your best self. Uplift yourself to push yourself so hard that you might not even recognize yourself in a week. Where you're so different that you might be the best version of yourself, or you might think you're the best version of yourself. That's how delusional you are. Put yourself in situations and put the best version of yourself there. Because constantly people are just putting themselves in situations they don't understand, and they're like, I guess I'll be here. I guess I'll be there. And they're just putting minimum effort and receiving minimum time and whatever it may be, and they're like, that's why I don't go there. But you didn't put any effort. What are you talking about? You didn't try. You didn't try to make friends. You didn't try to do any work. How are you so shocked that you didn't receive anything from that situation when you didn't try at all? It doesn't make sense. And that's what gets to me, because nobody tries to be different. Nobody tries to be themselves to the fullest extent, because that's all it takes to be you. When you're the fullest version of yourself is when you're not thinking. This is off topic. I'm just saying this, but I want to say this because it interests me. So, I just burped, excuse me. But when you're having autopilot, basically, when you're just in the moment and you're not thinking and you're just talking and you're in the moment and you're being present, that's when you're you. That's when you're being the fullest version of yourself, because you don't have to think to do anything. That's when you're being you. That's when you realize you don't have to fake it. You don't have to really do anything to be with those people, because you're so much of you. You just really just do whatever you have. You just be yourself, and it just happens. The situation is the situation, and it just happens. That interests me so much. Become delusional in a sense that you don't have to worry about not being yourself, because you don't care what other people think. Become delusional in a sense that you don't care what other people view of you because you view yourself so highly. Constantly, people are worried about worldly things outside of them that they can't control. How people view themselves, how people view them. But how do you view yourself? If you view yourself like maybe you're weak-minded, work on that. If you view yourself maybe you're too weak, work on that. These are things that you can improve like that. You can work on these things any time of the day, but you choose not to because people may think that you're weird for watching whatever, for watching videos on how to improve your mindset, for trying to work out on your body. Sometimes it takes a little bit of delusion to work on yourself. My eye is so weird. You guys see that? I see it. That is me noticing my own flaws. But it's cool. Because I don't really care. But sometimes you just have to realize that you have to be okay with that fact. I'm okay with this fact. This eye is so big. But I'm okay with that fact, and I have to live with that. I have to live with my warts, as well do you. Be delusional in the way you accept your warts. You ignore, maybe even, don't ignore your warts. A lot of people ignore your ugly side, and it's cruel. You just don't show any affection. You don't love yourself. Love yourself. I love this eye. I love my eyes. Love yourself. I love every part of my body. I love every part of my mind because I love everything about myself, because I live with myself every single day. And I understand myself the most. It is the person I'm with the most that I love this myself. That I love the most. You know? If I had a partner, I would love them the second most. Because I would be with them every other day. Every day. I would text them every day. In the same sense, you have to be delusional. You have to think that I love them so much. Like you can't be delusional in relationships though, because you can't push that. You can't push that onto them, because that's not gonna be them. You can't be delusional towards other people because that won't be them. Be delusional towards yourself, because you can realistically make that change. You can realistically do that. But if you're delusional towards like a person, like a partner, a person like your friend, a person like a parent, then it's unnecessary. It's time consuming because you can't change that person. Even if you give them opportunities and you try to get them to change, you give them therapy, you give them whatever they need, it does not mean they will. If you lead a horse to water, it does not mean they will drink. That is what I mean. Giving them new opportunities does not mean they will change. It doesn't mean they will be grateful. Some people are just incapable of change, and you have to be okay with that fact. Even if it's your own parent, even if it was your partner, you have to be okay with that fact. Get okay with that. Be delusional. As I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, you have to become okay with the fact that some people are incapable of change, but you are not. Become delusional in the way that you can change so much within a short period of time. I changed so much within January till June. Well, I really changed within, January to like March, But that significant change made me so different than who I was that a year ago. If you compare me to who I was like a year ago, I would hate you for it because I'm so different. And I know it's ugly to compare yourself to your past self because obviously you're gonna be different, but the significant change of when you constantly think about how different you really are and how different you were back then is crazy to me, because you never think about it. You don't have a chance to think about it, and because I wasn't delusional back then. I didn't have this mindset back then. I had a fixed mindset. I was so negative back then. I didn't think about anybody else. I wasn't empathetic, and I was just ugly in my head. That's what I mean. I wasn't a good person. I'm not saying I am now. I'm not trying to make myself a saint. I'm just trying to say back then I was a terrible person. I was not the best version of myself as I am not now, but I am trying to become better. And, constantly improving yourself is something that everybody should do. Become delusional so that you can as well. Delusion is something that should become your best friend, because it really is your best friend. Look towards something other than yourself. Look towards something that is yourself. Make yourself look better in your own eyes, because your own eyes is the only thing that really matters, isn't it? Make your views of yourself the only thing that matters. Don't worry about everybody else's views. And that is the end of the video.